So what I want to start with is change and the life curve. Organizations are made up of people. People go through, their lives and go through this, kind of infancy and then ramping up during adolescence and then peaking and maturing. And companies go through the same thing. And there are some predictable things you can see about that. They start off small and get big. Along with that, the deals you're doing start off one size and get much, much larger. As the deal size gets larger, the decision-making authority, the approval level goes higher. As you go higher in organizations, now you have more buying influences under the decision-making level. And so on the left, when you're first getting started, you have a lot of lone wolf selling. But as you move up and mature over time, you'll see more team selling. Companies start off organic. Everybody's sort of in the know, sort of through osmosis, because the organization is not that big. But over time, as it grows, get more policies, procedures, and so on in place, becomes increasingly bureaucratic. A lot of people resist that, but it's perfectly natural as organizations grow and thrive. Okay, you start off engineering and manufacturing driven, build a better mousetrap. But increasingly, you become sales and marketing driven because you want to be anticipating where the market's going and be ready for your best customers when they get there. Now, these are some predictable changes that happen over time, have been recorded and written about in other places. But there's so many other changes taking place. The power shift from sellers to buyers with the internet. It used to be that, sellers had all the information and therefore controlled the conversation, the power. Of course, that tons has been written about the change, the power shift to buyers. There are political changes, economic uncertainty and headwinds as we head into 2024 and so on. So there's a lot of change going on besides these that you normally see just through company growth. But here's another life curve, and this is the first one that I want to talk about, and the one that really represents mastery. And I first learned about this from George Leonard, up in the Bay Area. Very interesting guy. He's no longer with us, but he was a really very impressive guy, a great author, had been a pilot and Aikido coach and really a genuine human being. And I became such a fan that I actually worked with George, hired him as a coach for a few years. But anyway, what he was showing here is the path or the way of the master. And you'll see kind of a mini life curve here at the beginning, and then a plateau, and then another growth spurt, and another plateau, and so on and so on. And George described this as the way or the path of the master. So it's not one continuous, ever upward arc until you peak and then sort of tap out, but rather it's a whole series of little growth spurts and plateaus in between.